Brian Oberst, Kyle McCord did okay, and nerves may have gotten to him playing in his hometown. This is, Kyle's dad played for Rutgers, so there is that to talk about. But I threw out yesterday a poll on both Facebook and Twitter, and I took the Twitter results because they actually show how many voted, where the Facebook results don't show. And we had a few more on Twitter than we did Facebook. But overall, we had almost 400 people participate between the two social media sites in this poll. So we got a really good, and the results were very similar to both. We got a very good pulse on what the fan base views when it comes to Kyle McCord. And we're going to talk about that for the remainder of the show. Here is the poll and the results that we had. So, the poll question was, this week's poll question, Ohio State is winning, ... Here were your options. Because of Kyle McCord, with Kyle McCord, or despite Kyle McCord. Obviously in third with only 3.8%, which is probably, I'm guessing by that number, 6 or 7 people said because of Kyle McCord. Chris, I'm trying to figure that out.
The only thing I can figure,
how could you? Could
is
anybody?
they are taking.
Could someone make an argument for me, Chris? I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I want you to debate me here. I want you to make an argument for Ohio State is winning because of Kyle McCord. Can you do that?
My argument would be this, Eric, and it's the reason I said they're winning with instead of in spite of. McCord does have excellent second halves, it seems like, regularly. And honestly, and this is the only thing I can figure, is where they were coming from was without Kyle McCord's drive against Notre Dame, we don't win that game. That last drive against Notre Dame is what they're hanging their hat on. It's all I can figure. I would say that's why we're winning with Kyle McCord, is because he has come up with a couple big drives. He does have good second half statistics, but I don't think we're winning because of Kyle McCord. I can't say that. He's not consistent enough or having big enough numbers for us to say we're winning because of Kyle McCord. Yes, he is the second leading passer in the Big Ten. But you know what, Eric? Let's take a look at the quarterbacks around the Big Ten.
Not very good.
They suck. They suck. Call it what it is. We've got McCord, who's, I think, pretty decent. He's not great.
Drew Aller's a year away, just like Kyle McCord. You could make that argument.
Drew Aller's decent. I think McCarthy is the most overrated player in college football. I think he's decent, but not great. As I look around, I still think that if you had to tell me to take one quarterback in the Big Ten, pick one to run with, I still think Tua's little brother there, Talia, is probably still at least arguably the best quarterback in the Big Ten. And even then, I don't think that there's a quarterback in the Big Ten that is winning or a team in the Big Ten that's winning because of their quarterback. I just don't think there's a quarterback that great out there in the Big Ten this year.
Is it more Ryan Day holding him back, or McCord needing a half to adjust in the second half?
I hope it's that Day's holding him back, but if he is, I have to ask why. Why in the hell would you be holding this kid back?
He ain't holding him back.
If he has the ability? I don't think so either. We've seen it, Eric. The kid has problems with his mechanics. He's always throwing off the back foot. As we've talked about with the fumbles, he's holding the ball wrong. He needs to get that ball up. His decision-making process, I think, is questionable. I mean, if you look at all the grounding calls that we've had, he does not look off his receivers when he's running through progressions, and rarely does he make it past the second guy in his progressions. He just doesn't have good fundamental mechanics for a quarterback. Now, is he a terrible quarterback? No. Is he a teachable quarterback? I think so. Does he definitely have some talent? I think that it's in there. But until we fix the very basic mechanics that he needs to play at this level for this team, he's never going to achieve any level of greatness.
Yeah, Larry, I agree with you. I think C.J. Stroud is he's the auto rookie of the year. I don't think anybody's even going to come close to dethroning him. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to win that. Another Connor Stallions joke at you, Chris, on the
You
glasses.
know what? Just so y'all know, all these jokes, I'm keeping track of them right here on my clipboard, and I'm going to share those with Eric after the game or at halftime.
All right, here's what I think's going on. And before I answer that, let's get to the second point. 41%, Chris, of this fan base thinks we are winning in spite of or despite Kyle McCord. That's high.
It is, and I disagree because I do think that he's had a factor in some of our wins. So that's why I say we're winning with him as opposed to because of him or despite him. He definitely has had an impact in some of those games. Like I said, Notre Dame, perfect example. He had ice water running through his veins on that last drive.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have him in there, I don't know that we win that one. I'm not saying we wouldn't if we had a different quarterback, but
Who?
you never know, right?
Who? He won the quarterback competition for a reason.
That's
He
right.
he won that battle
He
for a
was the
reason.
best one that we had at that point.
Do you
And
know how many
here's the thing
snaps do you know how many snaps Lincoln Kinholtz has taken this year?
about a half dozen.
I think it's 0. I
He hadn't
can't
even
remember
gotten cleanup duty
I
somewhere
can't
along the way. I'm trying
remember
to think.
one time he's been in to take a snap.
I thought he got into one game and took a snap or two.
Let
I
us
could
know in
be
the
wrong.
comments if you remember Lincoln Keenholz taking a snap. I don't even remember
But
him taking a
but
snap.
here's the thing. McCord is like I said, at that point of the season, he was our best option. At this point of the season, guys, let's face it, he's our only option. You cannot switch quarterbacks at this point of the season. So you ride with what you've got. Get on board with it, support the kid, and let's hope he can get out there and you know. But I will say this: I'm starting to question our quarterback coach a little bit because it's a mechanics issue.
Who
Yes,
you,
you heard what I said.
who? Ryan Day?
Yes, it's a
Because
mechanics issue.
we all know that Urban's son-in-law is not even though he's the quarterbacks
Well,
coach.
he is the quarterback's coach, so
It
he's the
is
one I'm going to
truly
throw under the
Ryan
bus
Day.
first. And I'm going to call them
How
both
can
out on
you
this.
hold on? Time
If
out.
the
Time
fundament,
out. How
it's the
can you
fund.
question Ryan Day when his protege is just lighting up the NFL as a rookie?
You know what? Let's look at his previous two proteges.
Okay, let's
Now,
do that.
let's take Dwayne Haskins, rest in
Awesome.
peace. And he got to the NFL. And what did he do?
That was not Ryan Day's fault. That was Dwayne Haskins'
No, wait a minute.
immaturity,
Wait a
dude.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait
That
a minute.
was it wasn't
Okay.
that was
Okay.
not about that
Hold.
wasn't about his
Hold.
talent. That wasn't about his skills. It wasn't about his anything to do with being a quarterback outside in between the lines. It was
Ju-
all outside of the
Justin
lines.
Fields.
I can make the argument that just excuse me, that Justin Fields his inability to be successful in the NFL has more to do with the franchise that drafted him than who he is.
So could it not be that the coach or CJ Stroud's natural talent is what's helping him to succeed and not so much Ryan Day?
It's some of it. It's absolutely some of it.
Here's
But
the
you
thing.
can't sit there and tell me that all of a sudden Ryan Day has forgotten how to coach quarterbacks.
Well, you know what? When I see his quarterback throwing 50% of his passes off of his back foot, throwing the ball into the ground before it gets back to the line of scrimmage, not getting through his progressions, not doing the basic things that make a quarterback, it's just I someone is to blame for there being almost a regression in his play. And
Yeah,
at times that there's a regression in his play. He comes out very flat every game.
extremely.
You know, that's an issue. If it was happening once in a while, okay. I'm going to put it solely on McCord if it's happening once in a while.
Yeah,
But it's not. It is a
Brian,
consistent issue.
Brian Oberst coming to my defense. Haskins was on a bad Washington team. Fields was on a bad team as well. Bryce Young, awesome in college, bad NFL team.
Yeah, well, the only team that might have a worse history of quarterbacks in the NFL than Ohio State is Alabama.
Not recently. You got
Oh yeah, Mac Jones. He's a
Tua,
winner.
Tua in Miami is doing
Tua from Oklahoma. You mean Tua went
what?
to Tua
Tua?
trans?
No,
Oh no,
Tua.
no, that's Hurts that went to Oklahoma. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. It was the wrong idiot that I was thinking of. They're all the same.
Oh,
Alabama
look
quarterbacks
at
are all the
Jay.
same.
McCord's problem is McCord isn't a very good quarterback.
And that's
Woo!
possible. Then that goes back to the guy who recruited him.
He could have had J.J. McCarthy. True
I don't know
statement.
if that would have been any better.
True statement.
I still
So
think he's the most overrated guy in
here's what's
college.
going on in closing. It's 9 o'clock. For those who want to go over the Big Ten huddle, I want to wrap this up so you guys can go check that out real fast. Here's what's going on in this last week's game. Now, let me give McCord some respect here. He had 0 fumbles, 0 he had 1 interception, but 0 fumbles, 0 intentional groundings. So we made an improvement there. Did have that 1 interception. It was a bad ball. Bad pass. Gotta get that thing over. That being said, I don't think Ryan Day's game plan helped him. It took Ryan Day too long to adjust to what Shiano was doing defensively. And Ryan Day admitted this in his post-game press conference that at halftime they regrouped and they admitted, hey, we have to stay true to the run game because they're giving it to us. And McCord, take everything underneath because that's all they're giving us. They're not giving us anything deep or intermediate. Dump it off. Keep dumping it off. Keep dumping it off. Keep running the ball and dumping it off. That's going to be our offense in the second half. And it worked.
Yeah, but you know what's funny, Eric, is do you remember where McCord showed the most in the season and in
The
preseason?
short pass.
Those 10 to 20 yard routes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, honestly, that was kind of give Shiano credit. He knew that. He knew
No
that,
way.
and it was brilliant.
Could we land Arch Manning if he enters the portal? No way. Let me tell you why. The next Justin Fields is going to be here next year.
Yeah,
Air
I agree.
Noland
He's
is
real.
I am in love with Air Noland's game. Go watch his film. It is uncanny. If you were to hold a mirror up to Justin Fields and Justin Fields became left-handed in that mirror, that's Air Noland. It is unbelievable. In fact, I'll go as far as to say he's a better thrower of the football than Fields
Yes.
was in high school. Now, Justin might be a little bit better with his feet than Aaron Nolan is, but not by much. So I'm going to go out on a I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Aaron Nolan might be a better recruit coming out of high school than what Justin Fields was. But
Yeah,
why do eyeballs say?
and let me tell you, I've watched Aaron Nolan. You know who he reminds me a lot of, and yeah, some of you people may not know who this is because it goes back a few years. He looks a lot like Steve Young,
Hmm.
but more athletic, which is kind of scary because Steve Young was pretty athletic.
Yeah.